Welcome back to another episode of the Hero's Journey podcast. We are now on episode 17. You're keeping up with me as I read through comics and superhero stories from the golden age of comics. Right now, I'm working my way through September of 1943. It's a fun journey, lots of stuff going on. I'm trying to see how the heroes evolve at the same time. Probably see this podcast evolve a little bit. Hopefully, I get better at it. Becomes more entertaining. Got some great issues that I've been reading through this week. Let's have a quick look to see what I've been up to. First up, we have The Human Torch, issue number 13. It's from Timely. It's fall of 1943. This is an Alex Schomburg cover. You got a woman in bondage as well. I have to say that I really do like the Alex Schomburg covers. The more I see, the more exciting they are. They always, you look at this, you look at Alex Schomburg cover, it's always got action-packed stuff going on. You got Human Torch trying to grab some snakes, and it's like he's kind of melting them, and Toro's burning some guy's hair on the right-hand side and wrecking his sword. That's an exciting cover. Lots going on. It's really, really good. So that's Human Torch, issue number 13. So there's a few stories in this issue that I was reading. One of them was after an unpopular gangster is almost killed by his henchman, Human Torch has to deal with his reincarnation as the End. So the name of the bad guy, the villain, is the End. It's his only appearance. It's real unfortunate. Some of these villains in these stories have some interesting names, seem like they have some cool backstories, gets either origin, but unfortunately most of them are one-offs. You don't see them again. Next story, the Human Torch has to unmask the purple terror that terrorizes citizens of small towns as a Nazi plot to increase the population of large cities. So they were terrorizing citizens of small towns. So everyone moved to large cities, and then I think the idea was to bomb the cities as everyone was concentrated there. Next story, the Submariner sorts out a plan by Nazis to destroy a sunken U.S. Navy ship and then blame the Norwegian government. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. And then the following story has the Nazis. Nazis have coerced a Swedish national into smuggling a formula for a new weapon into the U.S., and the Human Torch has to put a stop to it. So what they did was they had this Swedish runner come down to the States to run a race, and the secret formula was hidden in his baton for the relay race, and he was supposed to hand it off to a Nazi spy, but Human Torch put a stop to it as he figured out the plot just in time. So in this issue, you ended up with 3 Human Torch stories, and that's up from 2 from the previous issue, from number 12. The most recent CGC sale that I can find was a 6.5 from May of 2019, and that went for $2,160. That's not bad for an Alex Schomburg cover. It's pretty good. Next issue I was reading was Kid Comics number 3. That's a Timely. I think it looks like it's from September of 1943. Could be like a fall issue kind of thing. It's one of those things where it's really not noted anywhere. Again, it's Timely, so you got another Alex Schomburg cover. Action-packed. You got the Young Allies hitting some Japanese soldier there, it looks like. Toro flying through a vat of oil, coming out the other side. Lots of action, as usual. Alex Schomburg cover. So in one of the stories, the Young Allies are after a Nazi violinist named Black Dirge, who has stolen U.S. war plans, killed a musician, attempted to torpedo a ship, and trying to get back to Germany. It's the only appearance of Black Dirge. Captain America makes a cameo appearance in this issue. The Vision rescues a member of the French underground from Nazis and helps the French underground destroy a Nazi troop train. It's the only appearance of the Vision in this series. Now, this is the Vision who, while a Marvel character, it's Arcus the Vision, not to be confused with the Vision from the Avengers. That'll show up in the 60s. So this issue, Most recent sale I could find was from October 2020. So the month that I'm recording this as a CGC 5.0 sale for $850. Next up, we have Leading Comics number 8. It's a DC issue from fall of 1943. So this issue, the Leading Comics issues include stories about the 7 soldiers of victory. So in this comic, you have Crimson Avenger, Green Arrow, Shining Knight, Speedy, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy, and Vigilante. Those are 7 soldiers of victory. And then in this story, they're scattered throughout history, throughout the past, by the dummy. What I find interesting is that you have a couple sidekicks here who make up the 7 soldiers of victory. Green Arrow's sidekick Speedy and Star Spangled Kid sidekick Stripesy, but somehow Crimson Avenger's sidekick Wing is even featured on the cover. He's the 8th hero. He's featured in the story, in the issue. Just didn't make the cut. It could have been the 8 soldiers of victory, but Wing, sorry buddy, you didn't make the cut. So his most recent CGC sale I could find for this was from December 2019, $500. It's an okay cover. It's an okay story. Why not? That is interesting. So in DC Comics in this time, this is a piece of a page that's in DC Comics, usually like the page right after the cover kind of thing, one of the opening pages. You'll find this listing, which is very interesting. It gives you an idea of the time. What they call the War Production Board, it looks like, ordered all publishers to use 10% less paper than in 1942. So we're in 1943 right now, and this outlines which issues are monthly magazines from DC, which are bi-monthly magazines, and which are quarterly magazines. And so they had to just issue less paper. So it says, bottom here, you've got More Fun and Adventure will be published bi-monthly. All Flash, All-Star Comics, Wonder Woman, and Mutt and Jeff will become quarterlies. All American Comics will be published only 8 times, and Picture Stories from the Bible only twice in 1943. So yeah, they're reducing the amount of issues that they're publishing. Very interesting, as publishers are forced to do this. And I want to say DC was probably one of the largest comic publishers of the time. I really don't know. Certainly largest superhero publisher, but that's as far as I got in my research. Really interesting. Okay, next up we have Marvel Mystery Comics number 47. So that's a timely issue from September 1943. It's timely, so you got another Alex Schomburg cover. Lots of action and excitement on the cover once again. Really good stuff. You got the Nazis trying to shoot at Toro and Human Torch. So in the first story, you got the Human Torch foils the Nazi setup that crashes planes using electromagnets. Next story is Submariner puts a stop to Nazis switching shipping lane lights in order to crash ships. Followed by The Vision shows up to rescue an American envoy in China being tortured by Japanese soldiers. Finally, we have The Angel survives being buried alive in time to save the King and Queen of England from a time bomb. Now, this issue has a cameo, an appearance in shadow of King George VI and the Queen Mother, who were the reigning monarchs at the time. I believe this is the first comic appearance for both of these non-fictional characters. Most recent CGC sale I could find was a 6.5 from May 2019 for $1,560. Okay, now we're on to More Fun Comics, number 93. This is an issue from DC. It's a September-October 1943. One of the stories is the Green Arrow breaks up a gang using gentleman Jim Johnson as a patsy for their heists, which is the what you're seeing on the cover there. Gentleman Jim Dawson was famous for robbing banks and pulling off some great heists, and then comes out of retirement to lead some gangsters. Turns out he's more of a bumbling kind of ding dong than anything else, as his methods are quite outdated. This is followed by Dr. Fate, who tangles with a lucky gangster, that is, until his luck runs out. Aquaman adds his protection to a damaged Russian ship helmed by women, whom he underestimates, carrying munitions. So Aquaman is surprised to see how well the women are doing as they helm the Russian ship, and they really don't have any issues. Really, Aquaman adds his protection, but I don't know, they're doing pretty well on their own, it seems. Johnny Quick tries to repay a debt as he finishes writing an encyclopedia in record time, but is interrupted by Nazis with a large electromagnet. The Spectre lends a hand to Percival Pop, who is dressed as the Spectre to stop celebrity guests from being robbed at a dinner party. So it's fine. I find this duo very goofy, a little bit out of character. You have the Spectre, who's a very serious character, no fooling around. Then you have Percival Pop, who's just a bumbling goofball who seems to be a smart guy, quite intelligent, quite capable, but he mostly bumbles into solving cases if he does. So it's just kind of a weird counterparts, if you will. Most recent CGC sale I could find for this one was from way back December 2016 for $160. I'd like to think that this comic price sells for quite a bit more these days, now that we're in 2020. Next up is Sensation Comics 21. It's a DC issue from September 1943. I have to say that the lines on this cover, the drawing, the art, seems fairly basic and simple, but I really like it. It's really grown on me in the last few issues that I've read. I really like these covers. They're simple. They're not trying to do too much, but they're trying to convey some action. And yeah, it's an interesting scene. Good colors. I'm really liking the style. So in the first story that I read, Wonder Woman stops the supreme crime leader from putting together an army of trained criminals. Next up, Mr. Terrific competes with a thug turned baron for the affection of a wealthy woman. Finally, we have Wildcat, who helps an ex-con looking for a second chance by serving his country in the war effort. So the most recent CGC sale I could find for this was a 7.0 from April 2020 for $700. Not too shabby. I like this cover. It's a good issue. It's a good read. Now we have Star Spangled Comics number 24. It's from DC, September 1943. I have to say, I don't generally appreciate, I guess, the Star Spangled Comics covers all that much. Not usually a lot going on, nothing too exciting. I don't know, this one speaks to me. I really like it. It seems, there's a bit of, it's a criminal hiding in the, sort of around the corner there in the shadows. It's waiting to pounce. There's trouble around the corner. I kind of like it. There's a bit of danger. Something about this cover I really like. So in the first story that I was reading, the Guardian tries to stop a gang war while the Newsboy Legion boys take part in a social experiment. So, which was really just a gangster trying to get those guys out of the way. So they put them up in a fancy mansion so that they could run around killing everyone they wanted in Suicide's slum. Next story, Star Spangled Kid puts a mail order racket crime for tools and equipment out of business. So you basically get a catalog in the mail. You can buy all sorts of tools and equipment for committing crimes, fancy tools for cracking safes. And Star Spangled Kid figured it out. Liberty Bell tangles with an Axis assassin in North Africa and ends aspiring. Liberty Bell sure gets around. She has some fun missions for sure. Robot Man is up against a professor using robot pets to steal valuables. Crazy. There was a recent CGC 8.0 sale from February 2019 for $516. Now this issue is Submariner Comics number 11. It's a timely, it's a fall 1943. Alex Schomburg cover. You have a woman in distress on the cover. This is, from what I can tell, a fairly well-known cover. I believe a lot of Golden Age enthusiasts know about this cover. Alex Schomburg, what's not to like? Dragon, woman in distress. A little action on the cover. It's great. It's great. So the Submariner figures out that a Japanese submarine attached to the bottom of a disguised cargo ship is used to destroy convoys of American cargo ships. So it's used as a decoy. It's pretty ingenious. Following story has Submariner disguised himself as a farmer to locate the Japanese spies that sneak in and out of concentration camps, directing attacks on U.S. soil. And finally, the Angel is tasked with escorting a delegate from England to the U.S. with incriminating documents against the Nazis, but the journey has some bumps along the way. Of course it does. Now, the most recent CGC sale I could find was a 3.0 from August of 2020, so just 2 months ago, $4,500. I believe this tells you that this cover is well sought after. I mean, you got two Submariner stories, fine. You got the Angel in here, fine. I don't know if these guys are the big draw. I believe it's the cover that's really the big draw for this issue. $4,500 for a lower grade issue is, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. This issue definitely is well sought after for sure. Next up, you have USA Comics number 10. It's timely, September 1943. You have another Alex Schomburg cover. And of course, a lot of action on the cover. It's great. Loving these covers. Got Bucky and Captain America trying to take out some Japanese crewmen on a submarine. First story I was reading has Captain America. Captain America must destroy an invention stolen by the Japanese army that can shrink and grow mechanical objects to stop a secret invasion. Followed by a large diamond is being escorted on a ship across the Atlantic from Paris to New York, and the Wizard gets involved when thieves try to steal it. So you have a recent CGC sale, 7.0 from May 2019 for $5,950. It seems to me like a pretty hefty price. I believe it wouldn't sell as well as the previous Submariner Comics issue, but it's another, I believe, well sought after Alex Schomburg issue. And finally, we have Wonder Woman number 6 from DC, fall of 1943. Again, I love the simple line art on these Wonder Woman covers. It's, I mean, this is a pretty well-known cover. It's got the cheetah on it. I don't like the action lines that much for what the cheetah's doing. It just seems something's off, not right for me. But I do like the cover. I do like I like the lines. I like the action sequence. Simple, got it. So in the first story, you got Wonder Woman makes Priscilla Rich feel inferior, bringing out her treacherous, relentless huntress side as a cheetah. So that story is the origin and first appearance of the cheetah. But as a bonus, you have another story. Wonder Woman races to save a U.S. airbase in China from the Japanese military after the cheetah coerced secret information from U.S. Army officers' wives. And then as a break between the stories here, you have the Wonder Woman of history, which features Madame Chiang Kai-shek, who played a prominent role in the politics of the Republic of China. And then back to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman sets out to prove that Amazons train women better than the military the US military when the cheetah infiltrates the contest. And at this point, Wonder Woman discovers Cheetah's true identity. So this issue had a recent CGC sale from September 2020, so about a month ago, for $3,700. So 2.0 for $3,700. That is a big chunk of change. So clearly, everyone loves this first appearance and origin of the cheetah, and maybe they love the cover much as I do. It's a classic cover for sure. So that's what I've been reading this week. Got to see some big issues again. A lot of Alex Schomburg covers. First appearance of Major Villain for Wonder Woman, and overall, yeah, some good stories, good reads, good stuff going on. Thank you again for tuning in, and seeing what I've been up to, and seeing what kind of comics they had in the golden age, and reading about the paper rationing. That's a fun little tidbit. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you next week, and I will read more comics and tell you all about them.